Hi everyone, my name is Kim Bisheff and I teach journalism at Cal Poly. For the past several years I've been studying misinformation and how it spreads online. Right now, the internet is flooded with misinformation about miracle cures for COVID-19, political conspiracies, for some reason a whole lot of made-up stuff about Bill Gates. What they all have in common is that they exploit a human weakness, which is that when we read something or see something that triggers a strong emotion, like fear or anger or even validation, we react to it without thinking. And what that looks like on social media is that we like or we share or we comment. And when we do that, we spread that piece of information and we help it go viral. Once that happens, people adopt that bad information into their personal belief systems, and at that point, it's almost impossible to change their minds, even when we present them with indisputable facts. I used to tell people that the best way to protect ourselves against misinformation is to do a gut check every time we read something. If it triggers a strong emotion, then we should be very skeptical and take the time to check it out. But that approach doesn't work so well right now in this pandemic era because so much of what we read, even when it's reasonable, triggers a strong emotion. So I'm here today to recommend a slightly different approach. Here are 3 steps that you can take to protect yourself against misinformation in the pandemic era. Step 1, practice social media distancing. Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat are wonderful for posting photos of your kids and your hikes and all those beautiful sourdoughs you're baking. It's a terrible place to find out about current events. So when you're scrolling through your social feeds, go ahead and interact with any content that makes you feel a positive emotion like joy or love. And for everything else, just pretend it doesn't exist. Keep on scrolling. If we all do that, then we'll create a misinformation quarantine. And without our attention, those posts will lose their power and eventually they'll die out. All right, step 2, get your news directly from reliable sources. Watch our public health department's fabulous press briefings. Go directly to professional news outlets. And interestingly, a lot of us are already doing that. There's this trend happening in how Americans are consuming TV news in particular. We're turning away from those awful cable news shows that exploit our emotional vulnerabilities by giving us these shouty pundits who are just yelling their opinions at each other. Instead, more and more of us are choosing network news, ABC, NBC, CBS, and local affiliates like KSBY. We're choosing shows that take a more objective approach, prioritizing facts over opinions. Americans are also consuming a lot more news from legacy outlets like newspapers, which is great. And I know a lot of us have, or some of us have complicated feelings about the media. That's partly caused by the massive amounts of misinformation that have diminished public trust in all of our institutions. But the fact is, nobody can just walk in off the street and start reporting for the New York Times, or the Wall Street Journal, or the San Luis Obispo Tribune. Professional journalists have extensive training in research and reporting and responsible sourcing and interviewing and ethics. And they're out there on the front lines right now, in many cases, risking their lives to bring us responsible information from trustworthy sources. Which brings me to step 3. I want to issue a challenge to everyone watching today. Start thinking about news as an essential utility and budget for it just like you do with gas or electricity or water. Choose one news source that you value and send a little bit of money every month. Our news organizations, especially the local ones, are really struggling right now because when businesses close, they don't buy ads. Right now, the Tribune has a fundraiser happening to help support its COVID-19 coverage. So does our fantastic national award-winning student media organization, Mustang News. KCBX, our local NPR affiliate, needs our help. If we don't support the news we value, it'll go away. And all that garbage on social media will be all that's left. So, 3 steps. Social media distancing, get news directly from responsible sources, and support the news outlets we depend on for trustworthy information. Thanks for listening, and stay healthy out there.